All right, let's just dive right in and challenge a big social assumption, shall we? In this explainer, we're going to dig into the powerful psychology that suggests something kind of counterintuitive, that the quietest people in the room, they might just be the most intelligent.
Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever been told you're too quiet? Maybe at a party or a big family dinner or even in a work meeting? It's one of those comments that, let's be honest, can feel like a bit of a criticism, right? Like you're not playing the game the right way.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We live in a world that just seems to celebrate the loudest voice in the room. The person with the quickest comeback, the most outgoing personality. And silence? Well, that often gets a bad rap. It's seen as being uninterested or shy or even, and this is the big one, not being very smart. But what if? What if that whole idea is just completely wrong?
So this brings us to something we can call the loudness bias. It's this built-in tendency we all have to automatically think that talking a lot means you're confident and you know your stuff. We see it everywhere, right? In meetings, in classrooms, heck, even in how we sometimes pick our leaders. Someone's talking a big game, and we just assume, wow, they must really know what they're talking about. But what if the real genius, the real insights are actually happening in the quiet moments?
Okay, so let's start tearing down some of these myths. It's time to really challenge that old idea that if someone's quiet on the outside, they must be empty on the inside.
And this is where the whole misunderstanding just falls apart. Look at the stereotype side. Society often assumes silence means you've got no ideas, you're super shy, or you're just bored. But the reality? Oh, the reality is so much more powerful, and it's backed by psychology. That silence, that's actually the sound of deep processing. It's not just shyness, it's a choice to respond with thought. And it's not disinterest at all. It can actually be a sign of incredible confidence.
Okay, so this is where we get to the core of this whole thing. We're moving past just busting myths, and we're diving into the really fascinating science that connects being quiet to a very specific and, yeah, a very high-level kind of intelligence.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It completely reframes how we should think about this. Real intelligence isn't about how fast you can talk or how loud you are. It's about the quality and the control of what's going on in your head. It's about what you choose not to say, which is often just as important as what you do say.
So there's actually a scientific term for this amazing skill. It's called cognitive inhibition. Now, this is a super high-level brain function happening up in your prefrontal cortex. Think about it like this. Our brains are basically hardwired to react instantly to things, right? Cognitive inhibition is like your brain's CEO stepping in and saying, hold on a sec, let's not just react, let's think. It's the power to hit the pause button on that impulse.
And this is a really, really important point. This kind of inhibition isn't about being nervous or scared to speak. It's not about bottling things up. It's the exact opposite, really. It's about having total mastery over your own thoughts, being able to sort through them, weigh them out, and then pick the absolute best one to say at the perfect time.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? In a conversation or a meeting? How does this power work in action? Well, it usually breaks down into this pretty simple but powerful three-step process. First step, you pause. You hear something, and instead of just blurting out the first thing that pops into your head, you stop. Then, step two, you process. In that quiet moment, your brain is going a mile a minute. It's analyzing, it's looking at different angles, it's thinking about the consequences. And finally, you respond. And when you do, it's not some knee-jerk reaction. It's a chosen, deliberate, and usually way more effective answer.
And that's the key takeaway right there. This isn't being passive. It's an active, seriously demanding mental workout. Being able to do this requires huge cognitive strength. It's like a muscle. And for a lot of highly intelligent people, that muscle is really well developed. And guess what? It's linked to better problem solving and strategic thinking. Go figure. So, listen. If you're one of the quiet ones, it is time to stop seeing it as some kind of flaw you need to fix. Seriously, it's time to start thinking of it as your superpower.
So let's break down what this really means for you. Your quietness? It's not because you have nothing to say. It means you value a thoughtful response more than a fast one. It shows you have an incredible amount of cognitive control. And that restraint, that's not weakness. That is pure confidence. It's the confidence of knowing you don't need to fill the air with noise to prove a point. You're choosing your words with purpose, and you're making every single one count.
So I want you to remember this. Really let it sink in. Your silence isn't an absence of thought. It's the space for thought. It's not empty. It's a productive, powerful place where the real thinking gets done.
It's like the workshop of a controlled, intelligent mind. So, I'm going to leave you with a question. Now that you can look at your quietness not as a weakness, but as a real sign of cognitive strength, how does that change how you see yourself in this noisy world? How are you going to own and use your quiet superpower?